What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Music Hacks Network. For those persons who are joining us for the first time, I am Chris Bailey. Thanks for tuning in. Today we have one of Jamaica's great veteran drummers. His name is Wayne GreatWall Fletcher. We're going to join Wayne after the intro. Yeah, Wayne
Hey, my
GreatWall
brother. Yes,
Fletcher.
sir. How you doing? Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Music Hacks Network, bro.
It's a pleasure to be here, man. Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful program.
Yes, man, definitely. You are one of the guys who have been a veteran in the music for years, and you have served Jamaica's music industry for quite a long time. And
Yes, sir.
we have brought you on this platform to sort of share your experiences with the world.
But thank you very much.
All right, so how have you been, bro?
I'm doing good, I mean, I have life. So once you have life, they say there's hope. So with hope, we know we have prosperity, right? So
Definitely.
giving thanks for life.
I have been looking at your nickname, Great
Yes, sir.
Wall, and it's quite fascinating. How did you get this name, Great Wall?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. Great War was originated from a rehearsal. We were doing a band rehearsal, and I was very angry because we were rehearsing in a wee hours, like 2 a.m. in the morning, and we have a lot of artists outside, waiting to come in there in the rehearsal area. And the thing about it was the show was the next day. And can you imagine at 2 a.m. you're still rehearsing? Now, in every rehearsal, musicians have this thing where you get a break, you start talk and you start going to some story, nothing pertaining to the rehearsal. So I'm like, yo, and just getting really tired, just want to get out of the studio. My brother, I start playing the drum in the next song. And the way I start playing is that, that drive and that hitting with the vexation going on. The keyboard player stop and look at me and say, my brother, why you playing like that, man? So I'm like looking at him and he said to me, you play like you're some wall. The man sounds solid, man. You must have some great. Hold on. Are you at the Great Wall? Your name Wayne GreatWall Fletcher. And from that night, but the funniest thing, I did not take on to the name Great Wall, because people normally call me Fletcher from school days. It's just Fletcher people normally call me. So I just said, let me use the name. So every time I do a video, I would say, this is a boy Wayne Great Wall Fletcher. And it's when I went to Europe, the names really stick onto me because I was walking somewhere in France and I hear somebody say, Great Wall. And I didn't even look around. I was just keep walking. I keep hearing the name. And I said, oh, I look around and, went to the show the night and everybody approached me with, Great Wall, good to see you. And I'm like, what? So there and there. And the person who gave me that name is a keyboard player. His name is Peter Grind. Yeah, he
Okay.
was the one who gave me that name.
How did you grow up? What's your upbringing like?
Okay. Well, I was born in a place called Maypen, Clarendon, Jamaica. The only child from my mother. And my upbringing, I wasn't from a a musical background per se, meaning my family were like my uncle was a drummer, my grandmother was a singer, nothing like that. I just happened to I get attracted to beats. I get a lot of beats when I was growing up, my brother, or punishment, because my grandma would send me to go and wash the dishes. And by washing the dishes, I might be touching a glass with a spoon and it break, that is beating, you know. But, music found me.
All right. Was it the drum the first instrument that you learned to play?
The first instrument I took up was a drum. I just happened to live in this community where we have a little church. And that church, they call it a revival or pocket church. But this lady, her name was Mother Welch, may her soul rest in peace. She was the one she just opened her house to all of us, like young kids. We just go there. So I happened to see the drum and I just go over, take it up, put it under my arm and start playing it. Because, so I would say the music journey starts with the tradition of the roots, because, that is part of the heritage of, our culture, the whole, Zionist and all those kind of things. So yeah, that's how it started.
Do you play any other instruments?
I take up the bass at one time, and my brother, I don't know how you bass player do it, but the first 3 days, I don't know how you guys did, honestly. And this is why I play great respect to bass players. I played that thing for 3 days, and I tell you something what they call like some bag of water,
Yeah.
bristers. Yo, this finger of a thing hanging down, and I'm like, I just quit.
Man.
3 days and I quit playing bass.
Oh man, you gave
It's
up too
crazy.
easily.
No, I did. I mean, everything does come back to drums. I mean, I can't even give you a next funny joke about drumming. The first time I ever get fired, first time somebody ever fired me in my life, I was working at this little supermarket, right? I won't call no name. But when I went to work, I didn't know they have a camera around the back. So every time, remember, I'm supposed to be packing your grocery bag when the people leaving. I would hide and go around the back with 2 pieces of stick, and I was there playing on the pants. Only for the boss to call me upstairs and say to me, why I always love to leave my spot? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's just like, okay. And he showed me the video with me around there playing. I'm like, oh my God, they caught me. And he get a match and he liked the match. And I see the fire and he said, what is this? I said, fire. He said, you said it. I didn't. I just pay me my money. And so that is how much I'm committed to drums. I get fired.
All right.
Just to play.
You sound well motivated when it comes to drum. What's your motivation when it comes to practicing? What keeps you going?
Let me try to give you a picture or a video. You ever see this picture where this man is digging the ground for a diamond, right? And it's two person, one at the top, one at the bottom, and the one who's digging. The moment he put down his hack and turn away, they just like a inch of dirt. If he had just make one more strike, he would have got the big diamond. And the guy upstairs saw what happened, went downstairs, and he hit and get the diamond. So for me, my thing is, I just feel the moment I put down my sticker, the moment I walk away from it, then and there, that big break might come. So I just always picture that diamond. So for drums, you have to have this. You have to have this thing about whatever you do in life. If you have to have a passion for it. Because when I started out, I didn't have this. I didn't have mustache. I didn't have beard. And then I start grow them after a while, and I'm still doing it until all of a sudden they start becoming different colors now. And we're going into age, but we still have that passion. So it's all about passion. It's all about dedication. It's all about wanting it and not taking your eye off the diamond or the goal or the prize. So for me, never be comfortable or complacent.
As I said earlier, you have been in the pro arena in Jamaica for many years, and I know that you have migrated now. What actually got you started in the performance arena in Jamaica?
Okay, what happened when I was a little boy? Used to have a thing called JBC, a radio station in JBC, right? And at the time, no, it's now TVJ. No, they used to have a road show called with a thing. No, they have a road show with a thing that they make look like in a boom box, and they used to have live bands and all of that. Now one day they came to me and I was there and watching, watching them setting up and everything. And there was this band from Negril named Indica Band. And when the drummer got around the drum, his name was Jaffet. And Jaffet was the man who really inspired me to start the whole thing. That's how it started out, with me just watching that band perform in the day. And there and then I made the decision that this is what I wanted to do. At that time, I don't know if I even go on a drum set at the time, but it just dawned on me that this is what I wanted to do. So my brother, couple months after, a friend of mine in school said there's this church, they buy a new drum and they want a drummer. And I happened to just go by the church and go around the drum and start playing my boof baff. And right there and then, that's where I started out. Then this guy named, this man, his name was Des Rose. You have a group named Des Rose and the Expressors. And that was the first time I did a show, a concert in Maypen, Clarendon.
I'm interested now in finding out how you actually met with Bonnie Anderson, because I know that you had a long career playing and performing with Bonnie. Tell us about that.
Well, with Bonnie Anderson, a friend of mine named Chin play keyboards, and Chin saw me playing at some shows before, and Chin was the one who know Bonnie because they live in the same community. And Chin come to me and said to me, Bonnie, there's this guy named Bonnie Anderson. At that time, Come See a Man was just released, and it was, every radio station you hear this song Come See a Man. I was excited because I'm like, what? So anyway, I went there and do a rehearsal, and Bonnie was feeling the vibes, man, and Bonnie was loving it. So at the time, it was me on drums, Chin on keyboard, and Perry Coleman, who died, a bass player, may his soul rest in peace. But three of us was the one who started working with Bonnie. And my brother, right there and then, that's when the whole thing of, started off. That's when I start to go into the professional rim now. So, I have to say thanks to Bonnie Anderson for that opportunity, because that was the one that opened. And then from there, I started playing for the the Sister Scullies. I started playing for the Grace Trillers. I did, so many people. And then by just playing and playing, then my name just started going around. And by my name going around, then that's when the professional rims come in. Yeah.
Did you actually tour with those guys like overseas?
Yeah, Bonnie, and then I guess I have to come back to Bonnie. Bonnie was the first person that let me tour. The first place I toured was in Antigua, and Bonnie was the first person that let me do a tour.
Describe your first tour. What was that like?
When I come back home, before I leave, I start speaking, meaning that I feel as if I was going to foreign. So. Bro, my brother, I couldn't sleep, yo.
Yeah.
Like, you have 2 days for the airport. I packed from about 3 months before the date. What? I go foreign? No. You know what? The funniest thing about that trip? When I went to the airport the day to go away, it happened that some people from my district they come to the airport because their family was going away too. Brother, I was in and out the airport, man. And I just have my passport back and forth. Yo, it was you see the action. I was excited, bro.
Yeah, because back then that was the biggest thing for a musician to be going on a tour.
What? It doesn't even matter if you get paid or not. You're going to foreign.
Yeah, man. All right, awesome. All right, so Great Wall, I'm sure performing with Bunny and these other famous persons would have opened more doors for you in Jamaica. Who else did you actually play for while you were in Jamaica?
Um, I get the opportunity to work with Alton Ellis. I get the opportunity to work with Judith Gale. I even do some recording with Judy Gale as well. She did this song, Hey, 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 Jesus is Alive. I did the live playing. And I when I was in Jamaica, most of my time playing was in gospel. So I didn't really step out in the secular world, to say I work with the big names and all. I mostly work with a lot of, gospel artists. And then after working with gospel artists, then I get the opportunity to work in the hotel industry. And
Mhm.
how I get to go to the hotel industry was because of at that time now I become a young parent. I become a father of a daughter. And, having all the fame and all the, you good, you this, but at the same time, home was suffering, meaning that the house need income. So a friend of mine I know, went to the North Course, and I talked to him and he said, okay, talk to his friend. His friend said, all right, we have some guys going on leave, so he can come and do some filling work. So I went and do some filling work. The first place I start working was Edo. For all the places in the world, I started working at Edo. That was my first 2 weeks. And the guys, they love it. They like the way, because I'm very humble. I will work with anyone. So they like my way I communicate and all of that. And then I work and this guy named Zico. He was the first person to employ me when I went on the North Coast, in Negril. And then I went from there to do other filling job at the beaches. Then I work at the a lot of hard jobs at the hotels until I get a permanent job at Sanders Negril. So from there, Sanders they change up their thing now and they start doing cut the nights, and then I migrate from Westmoreland and went to St. Anne's. So while in St. Anne's, I start working at a place called Breezy's Runaway Bay. That's the name, Breezy's Runaway Bay. And while working at Breezy's Runaway Bay, I migrate to the States. And when I went to the States, that's when things really start opening up.
Meaning that you actually started to play with more popular artists.
That's when the big names start comes in.
Who are some of these
They
persons?
okay. People that I work with I have a list here, my brother. I have to put a list because when it comes to names, I get lost with names because I work with so much people. I have Ken Bood, Alton Ellis, Sister Carol, Bushman, Leroy Sivers, John Wood, Leon and the People. Now, Leon and the People, I don't know if you watch this movie named Cool Runnings. That tall guy, he have a band named Leon and the Peoples. So
Oh,
I tour with him. I do gig with Marcia Griffiths when she come to the States. And let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you a secret about Marcia. Marcia Griffiths is the only singer that caused me to shake, nervous. Marcia no give Joe my break, my brother. She don't give you a break. Listen me.
okay.
When I play for Marcia, she look up at me and say, I'm sorry for you." But she was just fun. That's how she is. But Marcia,
Uh,
yeah. I work with Brigadier Jerry. I work with Meta on the Cornerstone. He's from Senegal. I work with Craig from TOK. Who I work with again? Junior Marvin from the Wailers, you know. Yeah, who play guitar for Bob Marley. And one of the big highlight for me is when I did a studio session with Burning Spear in Manhattan. Get a
oh, cool.
call. Yeah, I got a call, and the call was that they need a drummer to do a studio session. Now I just The guys come, they pick me up. I just go with them. I didn't ask who I'm going to play for. I just go to the studio session. And when I realized it was not like a little normal studio, there was this huge place. And I'm like, what? I see this drum set up and everything. And I'm like, I said, who am I playing for? And they say, oh, Burning Spear. I'm like, what?
Whoa.
The session was up. Yeah, the session was a Burning Spear. I'm like, what? Brother, yo, man, I tell you. But anyhow, unfortunately, the time when I did that session, that's when Bernie Spear announced that he's going to retire from music. So that project didn't get to go out. But yeah, that was one of the highlights.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna bring up one of the artists that you have been working with, and then you're gonna describe this show to us.
Yeah.
Wow. That
Yes,
seemed to
sir.
have been a great vibe there, Wayne. Which event was that?
That was a show with Sister Carol and the young lady, that's her daughter, Nakiba. And we were in a place called the Hamptons in Washington, D.C. It was a Bob Marley birthday weekend, and we did that show. So yeah, that's why you hear that song, we will be forever loving Jah. That was the intro. Yeah.
I've been listening to some of those clips that you sent in, and I must say your reggae, your grasp of the reggae genre is quite excellent. All right, what are some of the things that you have been working on to keep improving yourself in this genre? And who are some of the persons that have actually influenced your grasp on reggae?
My brother, I'm glad you asked that question. Now, I have 7 drummers off my head that I can talk about that have influence on me when it comes to playing reggae and certain way to deliver. Now, the first person off my head, off my list, is a guy, as I tell you, Japhet. Japhet was the person who made me want to play reggae music as a young boy, standing in the audience, seeing him play. What impressed me about these 7 persons is that it's not just their playing, but the way they carry themselves out of playing as well. All right. So Japhet was one of the guy who, when I saw him playing, I was like, whoa, I want to play like, I want to do what this guy is doing. Then I remember I was watching this thing on TV where you have Dennis Brown was performing with this band. At the time, I didn't know the band name, but I get to find out the band was Light Parks and With the People. And then you have this brother playing drums named Devon Richards. Now my head start explode because when I see Devon playing, I was like, wow. And Devon play hard and solid. That's one of the things again, whenever time you play, make sure everything synchronized. Your hi-hat, your snare rim, and your bass drum synchronize. Meaning that when you come down, that one, wherever that one land, make it be solid. And that was one of the things that I love how Devon used to play, even though it had some things to it, but yeah, the foundation. Then you have this brother named Mark Clark. And Mark Clark is from Ochi, Rios. Mark played for a lot of artists, but the time when I get to really know Mark is when I was playing for Luciano. And my brothers and sisters, these names that I'm calling, please check these brothers out. And when I see Mark Clark play, I was like, whoa, remember I tell him my brain exploded. No, my brain gone to pieces because the phenomenon playing. Then now, when my brain started coming back together now, I was watching this thing with this when Junior Gang was very young, and there was this drummer playing, full of excitement, full of vigor, just smiling, and then you do Zaga, and I'm like, what? Yeah, while he's playing, just shouting the word Zaga, but he was just Zaga, and that was Tony Robson. From the and Tony Robson is the drummer for Third World right now, right? Then my brain starts splitting up again. Then I start listening to Sly Dunbar. Now, the first song that put me to Sly Dunbar was the Taxi Rhythm, because when I was a little boy, and my uncle used to have a sound system, and when my uncle was sleeping, I used to go on a crate. And the turntable, when the song starts from the beginning and it goes to the end, you take the needle up and put it back to the beginning. That's what I used to do for the whole night. As Taxi finish, put back it. That's when I started listening to Sly Dunbar. And then Carlton Barrett. People think I would put Carlton Barrett way up there, but is after I start getting onto Carlton Barrett. Then you have the Ass Mouth. I can call more names, but my brother, them 7 brothers. So my 7 lists of people that really influenced me was Japheth, Devon Richardson, Mark Clark, Tony Robson, Sly Dunbar, Carlton Barrett, and Arsmouth. And then in the younger, like my younger, peer was a guy named Juba White from a group called Dubtamic Crew. Juba, trust me, man.
Yeah, man. All
So
right.
yeah, so those are the local people that influenced me. In terms of international people, right off my head, Juba again responsible. Juba went on tour in Europe, bring back this band, and I was listening to them on a cassette, and they were Dave Matthews Band. So the drummer off my head for international would be Carter Beauford. Then the Steve Gagg, the Dennis Chambers, and the rest goes on.
What are you currently working on? I know the pandemic has impacted a lot of musicians in a negative, but maybe a positive way as well. What are you currently working on?
Okay, well, before the pandemic comes in, I just come off tour. I was on tour with Junior Marvin. I came home the Sunday, and the city closed the Monday. And that was like when I was in New York at the time. And brother, trust me, it was terrible. So during that time, you're not working. So studio comes in next, right? So I did a lot of studio projects. Some of the projects that I work on in the studio are not released as yet. So I can't go into detail to say, okay, at this time or that time, just for the individuals to release. But yeah, most of my time now is really doing studio project, and that's pretty much it. In terms of gigs, I might do 1 and 2 gigs, and some gigs I don't do because of the when I look at the the whole setup, I'm not comfortable with health wise. I'm not going to go out there and destroy myself because of a few. You understand? But yeah, most of my doings right now is studio sessions and all of that.
What should we expect from GreatWall Fletcher within the next 5 to 10 years?
Expect to hear me doing more studio things, because at the end of the day, you need a foundation, right? And for your legacy to live on, you have to leave something, so your children can benefit from it, and that your talent and your time on earth, people can sit and say, boy, Wayne Fletcher, or you understand what I'm saying? So your name forever shall be in their mouths. So for me, do a lot of studio work, do a lot of studios, doing project, highlighting, the younger generation coming up as well, just live and just be happy and share as much as I can. And one thing I want to say, if you're a musician, you cannot be selfish. There's no way you can be a musician and be selfish. And the reason why I said that, because we have to learn from someone. We have to learn from each other. I learned from Sly learned from that one learned from that one. So if you're in this thing and you're selfish, this is not your doing, you know. So my
Mhm.
thing is just to be, as helpful as I can and share the love,
All right. Let's get into your gear or equipment that you actually use.
Mhm.
What brands of drum do you actually prefer?
Well, I use Yama. I like to use Zildjians. I use A Custom. The stick that I use of choice now is Regal Tips because I endorse Regal Tips.
Wow,
Um,
nice.
yeah, I do. And let me tell you something. I want to say this. Never say never, because you never know. Because I remember when I was small and younger, I used to have to climb the trees and cut my own stick. I couldn't afford a pair of stick. And even if I could afford a pair of stick, I used to wrap that stick with the black electric tape from the tip to the butt of the stick. I would wrap it so it don't break. Because if that stick break, maybe I can buy a next one for a next long time. Because we didn't have the access back then like now. That's the good thing about now generation people. They have access to everything. Them time we couldn't afford certain things. So for me to be climbing tree and making my own stick, for me, and for me non-present to be, endorsing a company, it's a big deal. Yeah. In terms of snare, I have so many different snare drum, because I like to collect. The last one that I collect was John Blackwell Jr. He used to play for Prince and he died. So that was my last collection. So yeah, I like to use Yama. Even though I'm not endorsed with them, but that's the brand that I like to play with. When I go on tour, that's what I put on my rider. Zildjian cymbals, Regal tip sticks, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. This interview is filled with a lot of encouraging thoughts for younger musicians, but I wanted to speak directly to the younger drummers who are emerging at this time. What would you say
Mhm.
to them?
Younger drummers coming up. Let me tell you something. We have to learn that when we're doing a solo project, it's different from when you're working with someone. I know things and time change, but the principle is when you go out there, remember, this is not about you or me. This is about the person that you're working with. Your drumming or your musician skill, you're self-employed. Treat your playing of instrument as self-employed, right? Because this is where your earning coming from. Please learn to be on time. Learn to be a team player. Learn to communicate. Learn to accept the simplest things. You see what happened now in the pandemic. And once you can have all of those things, then you can do it. Practice is very important. When you get materials, don't get it and just sit down and say, okay, yo, I know this, I want job that. No, because every artist is an individual and they're going to treat you with different feelings. I know artists who like to play fast, they song play fast. You love some artists like it simple. Like I take, for example, Brigadier Jerry. When I went to rehearsal, I was doing all this rim shots, all this crashing and all of that. The man let me do the whole entire set list. Then he said to me on the mic in front of everybody, yo, drummer, you sound good enough. But yeah, what happened? Just give me the one job. So before you work, yeah, the man let me play the whole. I mean, you talk about something like 25 songs, and he let me play the whole 25 list. Then he said, drummer, you sound good enough. But hear me. Just give me the one job, the studio one. So
Oh.
before you start working, and before the tours and the fun and everything that comes with it, study your artist, study your employee, right? Treat drums, treat these things with respect, treat your keyboard with respect, treat your bass with respect. And once you treat them with respect, then everything else will follow. Learn your artist who you're working with. You understand? Yeah, man, them little things there. And next thing again, please learn the business. Don't make the mistake that I make in the beginning. Because for me at the first, it was just about playing. I was not even thinking about rainy day, but know the business. So every time you put anything out there, you get your rewards. And this before I close out on this segment, this part here, I want to say to you, it's not what you earn, it's what you save. So at this meantime, when you go out there and you get that little dollars, don't eat off everything. Put something aside. Yes.
Awesome,
I hope
awesome,
that.
awesome, awesome, awesome words there from the great Wayne Fletcher. Now,
Yes,
Wayne,
sir.
I really enjoyed this interview. Before we actually close, I'm going to ask you to leave your contact information so
Yeah.
persons who want to reach to you can actually find you on social media. How can we find you on social media?
If you check out my TikTok, it's Wayne Fletcher 1. On YouTube, it's Wayne GreatWall Fletcher. On Instagram, it's Fletcher Drums. So if you check them sites out, you will find me, right? And then and if you go on my TikTok and you click on it, you can find all my links in my bio, because I always join my links in my bio. If you go on my YouTube, you see all my links as well. And my Gmail is greatwall.wf@gmail.com. And then my Yahoo is fletcherdrums@yahoo.com. So those are my links. So ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Wayne GreatWall Fletcher. Please subscribe to Music Acts Network. You will sure enjoy and full joy every minute, every second, every moment. So remember, subscribe, click that bell for the notification. Get it.